We're gonna start with Hope Dax. Angela, Elsa, kitty stuff. Not a Shang deck, so I'm just gonna go ahead and armor up my She-Hulk here. Barely rank 1 is Mr. Negative. I feel like talking about which decks are at which ranked on a Marvel on ladder games in games like Marvel Snap is always kind of misleading, because it's like almost assuredly the case that whoever is at that top rank got there by playing lots of different things. Can you activate Black Vortex again? No.
Opponent snapped.
I would have drawn like a Beast or a Falcon here. I think I could have stayed, but I think I have to leave now. Sag. Oh, do I? Can I do this and draw Beast or Falcon next turn? Dead there on that draw.
I am Iron Man.
Behold my mighty hand.
The Living Tribunal costs them 4, and they can't Mystique. If they Living Tribunal here, they go up to 20, 34, 36. Say they miss Marvel the center as well, that would be 4, 14, 19. 36 plus 19, 55 divided by 3. They get to 18 everywhere. Does this beat 18 over here? This is 1, 2, 3. So this is 9 plus another 3. I'm going to 21. I believe I'm beating Living Tribunal here plus Miss Marvel, which is their biggest power output range possible.
Such is my judgment.
Yeah, we crushed that. Out of my game. I feel like I have an unfair advantage against this Tribunal deck compared to the average Marvel Snap player because I'm capable of doing simple arithmetic quickly. Like, people always talk about this deck like it's unbeatable, and it's just like, well, if we stop and count... Yeah, this matchup is actually the reason why Snowguard is in my deck for what it's worth. Because you don't beat this deck in 7-turn games. But you can beat this deck in 6-turn games. Quickly is key. Yeah, this is one of those. This is the one kind of matchup where I wish I could have a shorter turns 1, 2, and 3 and a longer turn 6. What if they Mystiqued the Onslaught? If they went Mystique into Onslaught here, they would have had 40, 50, 54, 56, which would have been the same thing that I calculated. It would have been 18 everywhere. I would have won. Jubilee pulling the Iron Man blade helped you. Sure. Like, it's so fucking, like, when I'm talking about the dynamics of a matchup and someone's like, well, Jeff, this one thing worked out for you. Do you know what didn't work out for me? Elysium, significantly better for them than us. Beast and Falcon, bottom fucking 3 cards of my deck. So yes, thank you, dear Twitch chatter, for pointing out that not literally everything worked out fucking perfectly for my opponent. You got me. That's how card games work. Things don't break perfectly for either player all the time. It's also worth noting that had things broken differently for my opponent, we would have counted up what their output range was with things breaking better for them, and then I would have been able to leave if I would have counted and wouldn't have been able to beat them deterministically. You're still ahead by being able to count. It's just you leave instead of winning. Hawkeye is a little awkward with this curve. I think I might wait to play this out. I don't want to play. Ideally, I don't want to play Collector and Hawkeye into the same path, because if I draw Beast, I don't want to Beast my Collector back. You have a similar Black Swan bounce. Like, I don't think Black Swan is good in bounce. I think optimal bounce does not involve Black Swan. I do not think there are any competitive decks that optimally want to play Black Swan as a Marvel Snap card currently. Did I throw a priority here, or are they gonna be ahead? We might be ahead here. Or how's this work out? No, we're down by 1. Being down by 1 is perfect here because it lets me get into Death's Domain with my Hawk and not them. This is one of those cards that, like, people don't play in this archetype super often, that, like, I think she's secretly really good here. She also, like, is randomly a 1/4 alongside Collector in some key spots, and she does make managing your hand size difficult at times. But in general, there's so many locations like this where you're like, man, this really hurts my bounce deck, where Hawk is just like, nah, it's fine. Bounce is an archetype that suffers from location variance. And Snowguard is stellar at mitigating it. Monkey boosters! We're looking for Monkey and Hawkeye boosters, champ. Yeah, I definitely think Snowguard is the best rework in the history of Snap. Not close. Skylander, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Ooh. Piece of candy. I could have just played Zabu to get it out of my hand. So this is always kind of an interesting question. Do I bounce? Do I bast the hood while also basting my demon? I think the answer is yes here. I think that's a worthwhile exchange for me. Well, hope bring back Surfer deck. That's actually a really interesting thought I hadn't considered. But hope on 3 or hope plus 1 drop on 4 in Surfer does really cleanly let you, let you play 2 3s on 5, huh? Which is interesting. I think it's this. And then we'll beast these back next turn.
Snap.
Okay, well, they're not going to benefit from this at all, then. Hopefully this, one of these cards is a Cosmo. Okay. They literally drew 0 extra cards there. One, two, three, plus... I think I'd rather have this go up to 7 than have an extra demon. I'm a little tight on board space here. Yes, we're also a little tight on hand space, too. Is accurate. Although I think we would have been fine, right? If I would have gone demon, demon, and then I would have still gotten 3 back, I just wouldn't have drawn a card. And I don't think my draw is going to really be relevant next turn anyways. So how does Hawkeye work with Beast? So long as I replay Hawkeye next turn and play a card in the center, this Hawkeye will be 7. That's how this works out. Mother of God, that was the best roll on that one too. This is plus 12 over here. It's plus 19 over here. And it's plus an infinite amount in the middle. Yep.
Victory.
Imagine Alliance. I don't think Alliance beats me, yeah? I'm playing for all three. Chad, is this deck good? Chisox, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I've played like 4 games, so I feel like I can say with some amount of certainty the deck's cracked in half, right? It's not good in my hands. Definitely not good in your hands. That's true. We're 4-1 with it today. We're 15-10 with it over the course of the season, but it was a couple of cards different. We were playing it earlier. Oh my god, chat! Twitter just put a terrible thought in my brain. Do you know what War Machine enables that I haven't seen anybody talking about yet? You can curve Storm into War Machine into Legion the Flooded. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Nuthouse, thank you for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You could already do that. No, previously you had to storm on 4, which is a bigger deal. I'm not sure which way I want to sequence this here. This might be wrong. Hawkeye Follow-Up Collector is mediocre if I draw Beast. Lame. So there's Century and Nihilist stuff here, most likely. We're hoping to draw Beast so I can go hit Monkey Beast on the right next turn. Now, this should be an Alliance deck. So we're gonna have to think a bit about how we sequence here. Obviously, we do this. And then this goes here. I need enough points middle to be winning middle if they Alliance here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My hit monkey is 17. So I'm adding 17 up to 19, and then I'm going to 22, 23 over here. I'm currently adding 3, 6, 9 total. This is 4 because I'm counting the demon. So this is 13 in the middle. That's close. I'm gonna limp here. We could lose this. There's 2 new cards. I thought there's only a season pass card today. No, they release a new card inside of caches on the first week of the season now as well. I started doing that in January. Getting Pixie as well as Hope Summers today. What does shuffle cost means for Pixie? It means she takes the costs of cards in your deck and reassigns them randomly. So like if you have a Wasp and a Magneto in your deck, you could end up with a zero cost Magneto. Ander Moander, thank you for the 22 months. Welcome back. But still not going above 6. Well, I mean, do you have a death in your deck that costs more than 6? I think Hope and Pixie are the 2 I'm looking forward to the most personally. Cards are my kind of nonsense, for lack of a better term. Who is Hope in the lore? I believe she's the daughter of... She's the daughter of some of the X-Men, right? Yeah, Jean Grey and Cyclops' daughter, and like Cable's like her adoptive something or other, right? Don't want to leave myself the option to slip into the vault here. We're hoping to draw a Hitmonkey or Bishop this turn. They have 5 cards in their hand. There's a good chance this Dracula's inaccurate. I guess they could, like, MODOK. My monkey is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 10. So I'll be 10, 15 here. And Strong Guy over here is only 9. I guess I need to beat them playing MODOK over here. We could get like shanged on the left and then lose left and right. It's gonna feel real bad when you play Pixie and she has no text. Yeah, so I actually think Pixie is one of the most interesting pre-data mine changes we've ever seen in Marvel Snap. Because she originally was a 1-3 when data mined, which is a stat line that implies her ability isn't always upside. And then they changed her to a 2-1 before release here, which would imply that they feel like on average she is probably an upside card, right? But there are going to be spots where she literally just makes your stuff significantly worse. Alright, gamers, it's about that time. At least this stream doesn't get made significantly worse by putting the ads over the gameplay. We'll see you in 120 seconds. I think we're going to play some more Bounce when we get back. Thanks for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. How's it start? It's been good, Benjamin. A solid session with Bounce so far on the ladder. Will Pixie change the cost of cards in your hand? Does the text box of the card say anything about cards in your hand? Angel Steak, thanks for the 5 months, appreciate it. Pixie was updated so she no longer works with things like Thanos Stones or Thor Hammers. She only shuffles the costs of cards that started in your deck. My understanding of Pixie is she only swaps the original cost code deliberately. Yeah, I assume she was too good with Thanos when she could shuffle your stones. Zabu and Pixie do not interact. Well, I guess that's not true. Zabu reduces the cost of card. The way you need to think about a card like Zabu is Zabu reduces the cost of cards that had 4 energy as their cost when you put them into your deck. So Zabu does not discount based on... Zabu does not discount based on, other modifiers. Current cost, yeah. Hey, Pop, thanks for the 5 months. Our deck is not a Stellar Monster Island deck because we don't have Shang-Chi. I do have armor to potentially lock them out of killing our monster at least. I'm putting Collector over here, which has some risk associated with it. But the reason for this sequencing choice is I want to be able to have a clean path to play Beast +1 energy cards into. Typical Ravona deck is Tribunal. So we're looking for Snowguard. Scratch that. They are Clutter. So I'm definitely doing this. The question is, do I gamble on it? Do I gamble on it going left and do this? It's such a high upside play. Let's do it. If we miss the 50-50, we'll just retreat. I don't have armor for the center anyways. Perfect. Falcon! Think we're dead without Falcon? Because if I would have spiked Falcon, we could have made Bishop big enough to compete in the center. And the problem is they're a Shang-Chi deck, right? I think I only play Hood to ensure that I don't have priority here. And then next turn we go Monkey 1/1/1. Although I said, and this is why this is just one of the, we didn't draw armor, so we just don't have any player agency here. But this is like textbook classic Elias sucks shit. So I can beat, we played to beat Shang-Chi, but now I lose to Elias, yeah? So I think we're just supposed to leave. I'm getting, this is 8, 20, I'm getting 26 here up to 30. So we just died to a fart cloud. The Hood would imply that they're setting up to annihilate me, but Elias cards do not count for Bishop, no. Otherwise, we could win the breaker. I'm gonna limp for one. We're probably supposed to leave, though. Yeah. Face down cards count for Hit Monkey. They don't count for Bishop. So, if they got it for Bishop, we would have been fine. And this is, I really think games like this highlight the fundamental skill that this card removed from the game. Like, the second dinner designers talk about how they think it's important to have a card that rewards you for playing for priority. But when that tension is counterpulled by a card like Shang-Chi, there's no skill, it's just a coin flip, right? You're like, okay, I play for priority, so I beat Elias and lose to Shang-Chi, or I play to throw priority, so I beat Shang-Chi and then I lose to Elias. And then at the end of it, Elias took my sandcastle and kicked it over. I truly think Elias is the singular worst card they've ever added to Marvel Snap. And I do think the game would be just significantly better if they removed it and reworked it. Dine Online, thank you for the 29 months. Welcome back. You think it would be okay if it were only Elias and no Shang? Sure. The tension or the lack thereof is not interesting. We do, yeah, so like, we do need cards that reward priority, but this is a card that rewards priority, right? Like, this is what a good design that rewards priority looks like. Cosmo, good design that rewards having priority. These are good designs that accomplish this goal. Ooh, piece of candy. This again, just as a general reminder, me explaining things that I find problematic is not an invitation for you to tell me how you personally would fix it. There are always lots of different ways they could balance and change things. I'm not interested in discussing the how. Just not. Yeah, this works how I want, yep. Why use Hawkeye instead of Ant-Man? Because Hawkeye gets bigger than Ant-Man if you buff it one time. You've criticized Cosmo in the past for being a play once and forever affects the board effect. God damn it. People like you are everything that is wrong with modern discourse and interaction and debate. The fucking gotchas. If you've ever presented an opinion on something, you're never allowed to change your mind as new information is presented. The literal only option that's afforded to you is dig your heels in and stick to whatever thing you said forever ago. Just the absolutely worst, laziest, you have to do this, you said this one time and we're gonna hold you to it. Big part of the reason why modern politics sucks too. People are never permitted to change their minds when presented with new information. Ever, ever. Do I snap them back here at this point? I feel like we're in a really good spot. Oh, you know what, chat? I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't realize this was the turn 5 because we were talking and yelling at chat. 100% should have played differently here. It'll be okay. It'll work itself out. I think we're still okay. Do I need more than +5 here? I don't think so, yeah? Because I'm going to get +3 from Hawkeye, and I'm going to get +2 from Snowguard, because the Mysterio clone's going to play into here. And I'm going to gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more over here up to 13. We want to beat Demon. Yeah, that's a good thought. That's a good thought. I'll put Snowguard here. Or do I need to put the real Mysterio there? Beating Demon's a good call. My monkey's gonna be pretty big. Yeah, it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, this should be fine. Beating Demon middle's a good shout. Rip. Rip! If I lose the left by 4, chat. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, are we tying the right? We're currently tying the right. Are we gonna get Shang-Chi on the left? Most of these Zabu decks are Shang-Chi decks. Oh, the last one's a Nico. We're good? Oh my god, they didn't realize how that was gonna work! I think we were good regardless, yeah? I think we were good regardless. Sorry, to address the comment about me previously having been frustrated with Cosmo, chat, the amount of duration you have to go back to hear me speaking about being frustrated with Cosmo literally goes back to a time in Marvel Snap's history where Professor X was the singularly most offensive card in the game. Which, for reference, predates Galactus being in the game. It's like literally back to the first month of the game releasing. So yes, my opinion on Cosmo's position in the game has changed in the year and a half since Marvel Snap released. So, and this is, if you're gonna pick up these exact 12 cards, this is something to think about. Something you're going to note that I don't do while playing this deck is that I don't play out Snowguard on curve on 1. The reason for this is anytime you are falconing Snowguard back to your hand is going to be a completely unmanageable size. So you very explicitly do not want to play Snowguard early unless you know you're going to need her utility. So Sebastian Shaw and the Snap here makes me think they're a Mobius Surfer deck. I'm probably supposed to leave here with no Beast, no Falcon. I'm just gonna bounce.
Escaped.
Yeah, it means they have Killmonger too, but I'm not super worried about Killmonger because we have armor. It's more the lack of my deck's linear power in this draw is why I'm leaving. And that retreat is twofold. It's one, my draw doesn't have a lot of linear potential without any bounce cards, and two, my opponent could have Mobius into the Elysium. So I think that 1-2 factor means I should probably bounce out. Surfer plus Elysium can have high output. Yeah, I mean, I think our deck's output range beats... I think this deck's output range is better than Surfer's output range on average. If we have a reasonable draw, which is why I was pointing out that we just didn't. These Raptors can be 1-3s for us with this Falcon if we finagle this right. We'll have to manage our hand size a little bit, but hopefully should be possible. Magneto Enjoyer with a Hella avatar here. This will be one of those spots where Snowguard's a scotch awkward since there's Raptors I want to Falcon. So, Falcon prioritizes picking up your ones in the order they were added to the board, which means that if I play Hood here like this and get the Demon, I am not going to pick the Hood up and our hand will be full, but I think that's the line still. Okay, so probably the Toxic Negative deck. But Toxic Negative does mean that this Nidavellir is very hard for us to win. Because they are an Iron Man deck. We just leave here. I guess we could limp if they let us limp. On average, I think we're dead. If they had a below average negative draw, we could be okay.
Victory.
Why not bear the Savage Lands and turn that into an auto? And I would have needed the Snowguard more aggressively in order to have that happen. Oh, Toxic Negative refers to it, and often double Professor X's, not Hazmat. Also, they played Blue Marvel, which probably means they were a Living Tribunal variation, not the Professor X variation. For point of reference. One of the things you want to think about when you're playing this deck is ideally you want to deploy your 1 energy cards that you're bouncing to a path where it's clear for you to play 3 things and then beast them to get the most value out of it. You know what they say, chat, life's a batch and then you die. Does Mysterio go off under Cosmo? Yes. Mysterio is a card that stages all of its copies when you deploy it, not after it comes into play as a non-reveal. It functions, notably functions differently than other similar effects. I think it's this, and then we beast these back next turn. Honestly, it might be like beast this, Falcon these, play some other stuff out here. They haven't discarded anything other than Black Cat yet. I'm gonna snap them before they see my monkey. I guess I don't have Mysterio yet, but...
Victory.
You play Mysterio at Dark Dimension, you end up with just the original Mysterio. No. Whenever you put Mysterio from your hand to the board, it plays everywhere, with the only asterisk being, what's that? What's that location that takes the text off of cards for some reason? The only exception is when you play the real Mysterio into Deep Space. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that I fully understand that distinction, but Deep Space is the one exception. Alright, Jen, I'm trying to be better about not letting my non-reserves build up, so we're gonna take 30 seconds here and claim these couple of credits and boosters. The clones don't go to Crimson Cosmos or Sanctum. Yeah, but those are logically consistent, Duck. Because the Mysterio clones behave in a manner as though you played the cards everywhere, so they won't play themselves into locations where you can't legally play the Mysterio.
This land is always changing.
Funny. I was gonna say, before we drew their Falcon, that, okay, because we won't have our deck, we'll just, like, Nico the Hood right away and turn it into a demon, but because they're a bounce deck too, we can just, like, play as before. Regrets. I have regrets. And we're all supposed to play until a Chickagullia now, right? Puts a Hawkeye back to my hand, and then I pick up all of these. Or, alternatively, am I supposed to copy Falcon? Okay, cool. Them bouncing their thing actually gives us some extra freedom here. Because it means that I no longer have to worry about strictly filling this. This will give me these 3 back to my hand, and then it'll give me a demon, and then these will be stuck here. But then, next turn, I can open on Falcon, which will let me pick these up. This will restrict that I can only get 1 extra card into the center, but getting up to 10 power in the center should be plenty, yeah? Yeah, we've been loading our deck up with rocks constantly, so I can play 1 on the left. I don't know. I think I want to be able to put 4 real cards into the left here. So this is 19, 21. That is definitely a stay you are allowed to make. The opponent should realistically know every card we have here. This is a real mid stay on their part.
Victory.
Yeah, they hawked on 5, so that way they could draw from a deck that wasn't riddled with Ghoulia rocks on 6. Yeah, for 2 cubes, they could have just been limping in. Ooh! 14 more Hawkeye boosters! That was a kind of interesting Weird World game, yeah. Oako, I think I almost missed your sub a little bit ago. I missed a couple of these. Thanks for the 3rd of a year. Dehydrated Vampire, thank you for the 7 months. Variety One. I don't know that I have any variety streams planned in the distant future. Enjoying, or in the short term. been enjoying Snap again since the most recent over there update. I think they did a lot of good knocking down Lockjaw. Awkward, not having any ones to pair with my Nico.
Opponent snapped.
A good snap from the opponent here.
Escape.
Snapping a hit monkey deck into Crimson Cosmos is easy cube. Yeah, I'm gonna play a few more with this, and we'll finish out our session on the ladder until the next ad break, but I think we'll probably go back to Conquest while I wait for the rollover, because we've hit the point where we've been playing on the ladder for an hour and a half, and we're starting to see a lot of repeat opponents, which is typical when we're top 1,000. It could be Nico into turn the Bast into a demon. But I kind of like just Basting the Collector and playing him on 2. Was the most impactful card released this month of any? It's Proxima and it's not close. Like, I think Proxima's probably the most impactful Marvel Snap release since Blob.
Victory.
I think Proxima, someone in chat the other day, I forget who, described Proxima as Discard's X23. And I think that that's a very apt summary. I think Proxima was just like that final critical mass piece to make Discard like a solidly competitive deck. And when I say discard, I mean non-Hella discard. I also think Proxima is really good and underexplored in decks like the She-Hulk control deck we got an infinite ticket with yesterday. I think as is often typical, a lot of people shoved Proxima into the obvious shells and stopped experimenting from there. I think she's a lot more flexibility than her current range of decks would imply. That's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world either. How do you discard it? So you should check out the She-Hulk control deck on my decks if you want an example of what I mean by non-discard Proxima deck. You just play like a couple of enablers. Completely, genuinely, unsarcastically, I think Proxima is the most interesting card to have released since what's it called? Since Werewolf by Night. I don't need to draw any more cards, right? I think we're just good to go from here. I'm gonna stay further snap, but I might regret that. Might I get Professor X'd? Is this a Professor X snap, gamers? God, it's a fucking, this is person's ranked top 200, right? So this is just a Professor X snap. Professor X on the left and feel like an idiot. Fucking hate this game. It's so goddamn miserable.
Escape.
I'm glad. That's a perfect game to have after saying I was enjoying things with no variety coming up, right? I'm glad Marvel Snap's a casual game for most people because the amount of times that the competitive decks come back to Professor X Goliath bullshit is just like, how many times do we have to do this before someone at Second Dinner finally decides they give a shit? Also, like, the problem is, like, if they snap there and I play to try and beat the Professor X, we lose to literally everything else, right? I actually don't think the format's that frustrating. I think the format's pretty open and has a lot of people playing a lot of interesting and neat different things with a ton of variety in it. And I think Professor X and Goliath are just perpetually shit stains on any format where they pop up and have relevant play rates. Yeah, at least War Machine is finally coming. Glass half full. But the Avengers compound, if I want to do this, I need to do this turn.
Opponent snapped.
How does this work out? I get demon, and then 1, 2, 3 back to my hand. They're snapping me. For me, Black Order has been one of the most one-sided betas I've seen, like 9 out of my 10 games. I'm gonna give you a timeout because the plural of anecdote is not data. I promise you, if you sit down and look at the reality of the matchups you're actually playing into, you did not play into discard 9 out of 10 games. You probably played into it more than anything else, so anecdotally you feel bad about having played into something as a common matchup. But it almost assuredly was not 9 out of 10 games that you played. Good stat from them here. I did not realize they were a hella variation. They just discarded a bunch of big booms. Oh, I forgot I was copying Beast too, so I am missing a draw. I'm gonna miss another draw, but I think that's fine. A 11 out of 10 anecdotes are exaggerated. Yes, exactly that. This is 10, 22. I'm going to 24 here. It could be right to spread out and play for all 3 because they only have 2 big things. Yeah, they have 4 swarms discarded. Thought I just retreated, sure.
Victory.
I'm shocked they didn't want to take a 1 in 3 roll for their Hella on the Lockjaw. Don't play Hood. Nico is on demon mode, and playing the Hood. Hood makes my collector bigger. I will say, playing Hawkeye in these games convinced me that Hawkeye is a card I want to play in here. We played Chavez last time we played this, and Hawkeye definitely felt better than that. All right. I was really happy with all 12 of these cards. I don't think I'd change any of them. I think your flex slot in the deck, if you want to change things around, is your 2. We have 2 tech card slots. One of them is Snowguard, and one of them is Armor. I think as long as Living Tribunal is a popular deck, I would not recommend cutting the Snowguard. You need to be able to end the game on turn 6 against them to be competitive there. Armor, you could probably be greedy and play like Shadow King in that slot if you really wanted, although that's awkward with these 2. I think this is probably right. In the upcoming meta, do you think you'll need Mobius? Nah, I don't know if that's the case. I think this deck probably competes with the output range of Pixie decks a lot of the time. We make pretty big numbers. I also don't think you have room to play things like Mobius on curve cleanly a lot of the time. The difference between 2 and 3 energy is a big deal in Marvel Step. All right, I'm gonna spew a little bit, and since I'm happy with Hawkeye, I'm gonna spend some gold and see if we can get a good split on him.
Infinity.
We finished at 12 and 5 over that session with this. Not bad. Spewing with well, it's only 56 gold. It's like $1. I'll spew $1. Hit me, brood. Womp, 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 womp. All right, gamers, time for adverts. We'll see you in 120 seconds. We're gonna play something else when we get back. Thanks for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. He's more expensive to go for. This is like $3. So we'll wait for more boosters. Maybe we'll play another Hit Monkey deck that's a little bit worse in Conquest when we get back. Volix Syndrome.